It's the final week of the 2024 Texas high school football regular season, and everything is on the line. These are the picks. Welcome into the picks, your guide to the Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and welcome to really the first big inflection point of the 2024 Texas high school football season, as we have reached the end of the regular season. The playoffs start next week. The brackets are coming out on Saturday, which you can watch revealed on the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight Playoff Bracket Reveal Show, 10:30 p.m. Saturday night on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and TexasFootball.com, plus TexanLive.com. But when those brackets come out, then we're going to enter the next phase of the Texas high school football season. And the playoffs will be set. We will understand the stakes in every single game. But what Week 11 provides for us is an opportunity to unwrap the present, an opportunity to look at what the stakes are going to be moving forward, the path that every team must walk to go to AT&T Stadium in Arlington. It is truly the most exciting time of the year, and we can't wait for Texas high school football to get even hotter across the state of Texas. There are massive games with huge implications everywhere you look in the final week of the Texas high school football season. We start in the big country. 7 o'clock Friday night at Shotwell Stadium in Abilene. It is a 5A Division II showdown as the Amarillo Palo Duro Dons visit the Abilene Cooper Cougars. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number one, Palo Duro's youth movement. Everywhere you look on Coach Eric Mims's Palo Duro squad, you will see young stars, guys that they are expecting to be contributors for years and years going forward, especially on the offensive side. Quarterback Julian Reese is just a sophomore. Their star running back Raymond Johnson, also just a sophomore, and their leading receiver in Darian Lewis is just a junior. In fact, for Palo Duro, their top four rushers and their top four receivers are all underclassmen. They have a lot of football left to play out in front of them. Abilene Cooper is a little bit more of a veteran squad led by seniors like their quarterback Adam Cummins. The question in this one is, does the senior leadership give Cooper an edge, or will youth be served for Palo Duro? Key number two, which defense shows up? So I'm going to try to be kind here when I say that for both of these teams, let's say the offense is the more consistent part of their team. Both these defenses have tended to struggle. Abilene Cooper ranks 64th in scoring defense in 5A Division II. Palo Duro not a whole lot better at 57th. They're both averaging about 27 points allowed per game. But in a critical Week 11 showdown, defense is going to be absolutely critical. Can guys like Abilene Cooper defensive back Jeremiah Appel step up? What about Palo Duro star linebacker Kamaj Barnes? Can they come up with big splash plays on the defensive side? This feels like the kind of game where the defenses can take a back seat, especially considering the firepower on the offensive side, but which defense can step up when it matters most? And key number three, win or go home. So you might be asking, Tepper, why are you spotlighting Palo Duro and Cooper? These two teams are combined 8 and 10 on the year. They're not exactly at the top of the Texas high school football state rankings. And that is true, but the stakes in this game literally could not be higher. You see, this is a straight up playoff game. The winner of this game is the number 4 seed out of District 2 5A Division II. They will take on El Paso del Valle next week in the first round of the playoffs. The loser of this game, their season is over. It's done. This is win or go home. If you win this week, you get to practice another week and live to see another day. And if you lose, then you are blowing up basketballs. The stakes could not be higher. And with those stakes comes pressure. Every player in this game and every coach in this game understands what's on the line. And that is going to lead to some wild football on Friday night. We're going to be pulling out all the stops. There are going to be big plays back and forth, big momentum swings, and the question here is which team can handle the moment better. So, in a win or go home situation, which team flourishes and which team falters? Who am I picking? I'm going with Palo Duro. The Dons get the nod here thanks to their dynamic offense. I really think this sophomore quarterback, Julian Reese, is getting better as the season goes on. Plus, they've got the running game with Raymond Johnson. They are versatile and dynamic. Now, For Cooper, they are coming off an open date, so they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game, and I think that is critical in this ball game, and especially being at home at Shotwell Stadium, I think that gives them a real advantage. But in the end, I think the dynamic offense for Palo Duro, paired with what I think is a little bit more of a trustworthy defense, gets the job done. I think the Dons are heading for the playoffs. I think Amarillo Palo Duro gets a critical win. Let's go to Houston, 7 o'clock Friday night at Turner Stadium in Humble. It is a top 10 showdown in 6A as the Humble Summer Creek Bulldogs welcome in the Galina Park North Shore Mustangs. Now, there's no playoff implications in this. Humble Summer Creek is locked into their seed in the Division II bracket, and North Shore is locked into their seed in the Division I bracket. They will meet on Friday night and then go their separate ways. However, there is a lot as far as confidence heading into the playoffs is concerned. For Humble Summer Creek, they have the one loss on the year to Atascocita, and the quarterback Blake Thomas has been absolutely sensational. We know how good their defense is, led by Chad Woodfork. My question in this one is going to be who steps up alongside Blake Thomas. To beat this North Shore defense led by Devin Sanchez, you have to be multifaceted. You have to have a variety of different threats. It can't just be Blake Thomas. As good as he has got to have a running buddy that goes out there and lifts offensively. For North Shore, they are undefeated, looking to close out another undefeated regular season, and of course the defense has been terrific. But I look at the offense led by quarterback Caleb Bailey and running back DeAndre Hardeman, and part of me wonders where that consistency is, right? We know the weaponry they have, and yet sometimes the offense has been fits and starts. Sometimes the offense has been a little bit stuck in the mud. When they're going good, they're one of the best offenses in Texas high school football, hard stop, but it hasn't always been good. Can they find that consistency in week 11 of the Texas high school football season? This game is fascinating. In the end though, North Shore's won 50 consecutive district games. I ain't picking against the streak. I think North Shore comes away with a narrow and exciting win. Let's go to 3A, 7 o'clock Friday night at Red Raider Stadium in Winnsboro. It is a huge top 10 3A Division I showdown as the Malakoff Tigers take on the Winnsboro Red Raiders. And we're going to find out a lot about the shape of what 3A Division I looks like, which may in fact be the most exciting bracket in Texas high school football when we get to the playoffs starting next week. Winnsboro's offense has been absolutely electric. The number 5 scoring offense in all of 3A Division I, thanks in large part to Camden Capehart, their outstanding wide receiver who recently committed to Mississippi State, and their running game led by Tyson Johnson. The defense has been pretty darn good as well. They get a shot at the number 1 team, the undefeated defending state champs in the Malakoff Tigers. We haven't talked a ton about this year, and I think part of it is like we just don't know how good they are. They haven't really been tested. Some of the games that they played in non-district against teams like Grandview, Lorena, Madisonville, those teams haven't panned out to be the kind of challenges we thought that they would be. We know the star power they've got. Quarterback Mike Jones, Mike Jones has been absolutely terrific. I think they've got a ton of playmakers on the outside, but the thing that sets Malakoff apart and the reason I'm picking them is their defense, which has been lights out, led by linebacker Parker Poteet. I think the defense is the difference. I think Malakoff polishes off a perfect regular season. Now let's go to 2A, 7 o'clock Friday night at Bill Anderson Stadium in Stamford. It is another top 10 matchup. This one a matchup of unbeatens as the Stamford Bulldogs welcome in the Hawley Bearcats. This is another Region 1 sorting matchup here in 2A Division 1. You remember a couple weeks ago we had that epic game between Panhandle and Sunray. Now comes the next chapter in kind of figuring out what Region 1 is going to look like with Stamford and Hawley. Stamford's the number 1 team in 2A Division 1. They have looked exceptional. Their quarterback Christian Duran's been great, but they have the number 1 scoring defense in all of 2A Division 1, led by Caston Vega. Their defense has been lights out. Well, here comes Hawley with their superstar, do-it-all quarterback Keegan Abels, who is absolutely box office, one of the most fun players in Texas high school football. Can the Bearcats continue their strong defensive run of play of late? One thing to note in this game, neither of these teams have been in a close game, right? Hawley was in one back in like week 4. They won a 1-point game over Eastland. But other than that, every other game has been decided by multiple scores. What happens when these two teams get in a close game? What happens when the game, kind of becomes high stakes, high leverage? That's what I'm interested in this one. I think home field advantage helps, and I think that the defense for Stamford stands tall. I think the Bulldogs finish off a perfect regular season. But those are far from the only big games in the final week of the 2024 Texas high school football regular season. Let's get to the lightning round. In our six-man game of the week, it's a matchup of unbeatens. I like Abbott over Aquila. Give me Bay City to take down Port Lavaca Calhoun, and ARP gets by West Rusk. I like Brady over Clifton. Give me Canadian over Childress, and Austin Vandergrift finishes the regular season hot with a win over Round Rock. I like Canyon West Plains over Hereford. Huge game on the coast. I like Corpus Christi Flower Bluff over Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial, and give me Austin Westlake over Dripping Springs. I like Dilion to get by Hamilton. Give me East Bernard over Tidehaven, and give me Bernie to beat Kerrville-Tybee. I like Fort Bend Crawford over Navasota. Give me Killeen Harker Heights over Temple, and a huge game in Cy-Fair ISD. I like Bridgeland over Cy Woods. I'm going with Holiday over Jacksboro. In our private school game of the week, it's a matchup of unbeatens in the private school six-man ranks. I like Houston Emory Weiner over Pasadena First Baptist, and give me El Paso Eastlake over El Paso Coronado. I like Huffman Hargrave over Bridge City. Liberty Hill wins its district championship with a win over Bastrop, and give me El Paso Pebble Hills over El Paso Franklin. I'm going with Lindsay over Era. Lufkin gets by a wounded Galveston Ball, and in the wild and woolly Frisco ISD, I like Frisco Lone Star over Frisco Reedy. Give me Mart over Goldthwaite. In the mascot matchup of the week, I like the Mason Punchers over the San Saba Armadillos, and give me Frisco Panther Creek to beat Sulphur Springs. Peaster gets by Vernon. Pflugerville Weiss gets a big win over Austin Anderson, and Garrison stays hot with a win over Joaquin. I like Poth over Dilley. Give me Pottsboro over Whitesboro, and Georgetown squeaks by Cedar Park. I think Refugio stays hot with a win over Three Rivers. Straight up playoff game in San Antonio. I like Taft over O'Connor, and a huge game in Southeast Texas. I like Hampshire Finette over West Orange Stark. I like San Diego over Lifer. Give me Shallow Water over Dalhart, and down in the valley, give me Harlingen South over Weslaco East. Is there a hotter team in Texas than Pleasant Grove? I don't know, but I think they beat Van. Highland Park wins another district championship with a win over Midlothian, and Lovelady squeaks by Grapeland. In the Little Southwest Conference, I like Midland over Odessa Permian. Straight up playoff game out east, I like Mount Enterprise over Alto, and I think Nederland bounces back with a win over Montgomery. North Crowley beats rival Crowley. I like Panhandle to beat Spearman, and Post gets by Abernathy. I like San Antonio Piper over Bernie Champion, and Sweetwater gets by Jim Ned. It's win and in Deep East Texas. I think Timpson beats San Augustine, and in the first of a new rivalry, I like Wichita Falls Memorial over Wichita Falls Legacy. And those are the picks. What am I wrong about? Which games I leave out? Leave comments down below. Don't forget that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Remember, Saturday night, 10:30 p.m., the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight Playoff Bracket Reveal Show. Live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, texasfootball.com, and texanlive.com. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the final week of the Texas high school football regular season. We'll see you.